Hey guys, my name is Iasmina and welcome back to my channel. So this week's video is also going to be a writing vlog, and this is the third and final part of my rewriting my first book series of writing vlogs. So at the point of filming this intro, I'm not quite 100% done with it yet, but if you're watching this video, it means that I have finished the draft. So I'm gonna link the first two parts of this series down in the description. If you haven't watched those yet, please do, because it makes a lot more sense if you've seen the first two parts. So yeah, let's move on to the writing vlog. Okay, so it is the 1st of April, it is the first day of Count Nano, and like I mentioned, this month's focus for me is going to be on writing the prequel of Hunting Vienna, just because I want to write it, because I think it's fun, and I think it's also important to get to know the characters and what they went through in more detail. And that would help me with the rest of the series if I ever end up writing the rest of the series. So that's the focus for Camp Nano. However, of course, I still need to finish this draft of Hunting Vienna and add in all of those small beats and moments that I said I was missing. And so I did a bit of that yesterday as well. The word count right now is 53,637, so it didn't jump that much, but I'll continue working on it throughout these days of April and hopefully get to say it's done soon. But of course my focus will be mostly on writing the draft 0 of the prequel. So remember how I said before, where I said that I thought this was gonna be a quick thing, that I'm just gonna put in those beats and those extra little scenes and the draft will be done in a couple of days? Yeah. Don't believe my lies. It's actually not that easy, because I'm trying to keep in mind all of the stuff, all of the little things, the little inconsistencies that I have to fix, or I have to make sure I mention things, you know, like little breadcrumbs. Practically just have to sift through the entire draft again and see where I need to add those things in, and I have to do a lot of rereading parts, making sure, okay, does this now have everything? And I made a lot of notes in my little notebook about things that I need to add. So currently I'm at chapter 5, so I'm back at the beginning of the book. I've added a couple of scenes. I actually added one new scene that I felt was really needed, and then I bulked up some scenes that were a bit lackluster, that I felt needed a bit more emotional introspection there. Things that were happening to the main character where he didn't really react to them, and that wouldn't really be consistent, because he, if anything, he overreacts to things, and so he definitely needed to react somehow internally to what was happening. And right now I have 54,789 words. So I'll tell you a little story. So I was obsessed with like finding out what font to use for the book. After I finish this draft, I really want to order a proof from KDP just to have it in a book form and edit it that way, because I think that would be really cool. And I never had an order, like an actual book printed before for my drafts. I've always just printed them out on normal paper and bound them that way, but this time I really want to get like a proper book of my draft. I moved back here because I was rudely interrupted. So I was reading this, and if I can focus, this is sort of what the font looks like, and I was just trying to figure out how can you find out what font is in a book, right? I searched online and it said there was this app, you could take a picture and it would tell you, and I tried that, it didn't work. It didn't work. And then I googled it, and then it said that, you know, if you read the copyright at the beginning of the book, sometimes, you know, it will mention the publisher, and you can Google what typeset the publisher uses, and sometimes you can find that. But anyway, I decided to look again at the copyright of this book, and it actually says typeset in 11/15 point Bembo font. It actually says it right here. And I also had that font because I searched for it in Word, and I have it, and now I know exactly. So it's 11 point Bembo throughout the book, and then the chapter headings are 15 point. So I changed it to that font and font size, just so I could have a more accurate representation of what the draft of the book would look like in actual book form, like this, because this is a YA Contemporary, it's a recent release YA Contemporary, so this would be like industry standard kind of thing, which is what I was going for as well. So that's what I did. So, good morning. It is the next morning, April 6th, I think I made a bit more progress yesterday. I am at 56,033 words. Again, I bulked up some scenes that I had before that I felt were missing some things. And I also split up one chapter into two because I bulked up some of the scenes in that chapter, so I think it makes sense that it's 2 chapters now instead of 1. That was my coffee. That means it's done. So now I have my coffee. This is much better. So I'm on vacation this week because at the end of the week it's Easter. So we had a couple of days bank holiday anyway, and so I added in an extra 3 vacation days. So I have this whole week off. I think I'll be able to be done with this draft by the end of this week. Of course, we are still in lockdown, so we can't really leave. Well, we can leave for like short walks and things and go to the supermarket, but that's it, so I can't take a holiday in that sense. That just means I get to make a lot more progress on stuff. I also started reading this book yesterday, which is a very strange book, but it's actually proving to be pretty useful. But it has stuff like commonly misspelled words that, for example, this is just an example, that like sound the same but they're spelled differently, like allowed, beach. Okay, so yesterday I realized that I had copied in a scene or part of scene twice. So it was because I copied a bit from one of my early drafts that I knew I wanted to be in the new draft, but I copied it in one place initially, and now as I went back, I thought, oh, this should make a good place for this part of the scene that I had, but I had forgotten that I'd actually already put it in a bit later on. So I put it in again, I edited a little bit so that it fits with the new thing, and later on as I read again through the book I realized, oh, it's here again, I put it in twice, and so I had to delete where I had put it in initially, and so today I am at 56,619 words, but that is because I added and edited out a section, so it kind of obviously balances out. So it doesn't seem like I made that much progress, but I actually did. I'm still aiming to pass 60,000 words. I think I would be happy with that. I also got the 3rd book in the Shadow of the Fox series yesterday. I got it in the mail and I started reading it yesterday evening. I love this cover. It's a much shorter than I thought it would be. Usually for like final books in series, they're like huge, but this is actually shorter, I think, than even the first book. At least, like, again, I talked about formatting a lot. It's because it's formatted differently, I think. But I love it. Look at that pretty cover. I can't wait to finish this series because this is one of my favorite series. Now, I'll make a whole review video talking about the entire series. Good morning! It is April the 11th, and it is my birthday today. Yep. So yesterday I had a bit of a weird day. I did work on the book. I'll tell you about that progress. But about halfway through, I guess because today is my birthday, I got a bit sad and I didn't do much after that. So I've reached that age where, well, I think I've reached it a few years ago to be perfectly honest, but I've reached that age where I do not like to think about my birthday anymore. I don't get excited about it anymore. It only reminds me that I'm getting older, and I don't like that. I'll be honest, I don't like that. That is a sad fact of life. But anyway, I'm still making progress on Hunting Vienna. I am at 58,011 words as of yesterday. I'm still hoping to finish this draft this week. It's been a bit slower than I would have liked, honestly, but it is getting there. I'm just trying to be careful because obviously I don't want to just add words for no reason. Like, it has to make sense. But it has been a bit slower than I'd like, but I think it's still going really well, and I'm at page 160 of now 260. So there's still a lot of draft to go through and add words here and there, and I know I will have to rewrite a little bit of the ending. I figured out a part that I really want to make better, and so I know I'll be adding stuff there, but I'll also be removing stuff, so we'll see. But the goal is still to pass 60k for this draft. I think that's where I would feel most comfortable going in and editing afterwards, because I feel like it still feels a bit underwritten just in terms of word count. I feel like because it used to be so long, it used to be like 80,000 words, then 78, then 75, then around 70. That's kind of where I always thought this book should be, and because it's so low in word count, I feel like, ooh, am I missing things? Is it underwritten? And so I'm looking for ways to bulk it up. And to be fair, the places that I do find do actually need to be there. Like the scenes that I'm adding are emotional, important beats that do need to be there. But at the same time, it's not like bulking up the word count so much, right? And so I'm like, who is it? Is it underwritten? Is it too short? But no, I don't think it's too short. I think it's the amount it should be. I obviously don't want to just add random words in there just to bulk up the word count. The story is as long as it needs to be, and as long as I've put in all of the emotional beats, all of the dialogue, all of the jokes, all of the plot, and all of the necessary descriptions, then the word count it will be at the end of that is what it will be. So yeah, today is my birthday in social isolation or in social distancing. So, you know, it's as exciting as it sounds. But to be honest, it's fine. I don't really care that much. It is how it is. So, yeah. So today is the 13th of April, Monday. This is the last day of vacation I have. So tomorrow I have to work on my day job as well. Still from home though, it's a little bit more relaxed, but yes. Today I'm at 60,298 words. So I finally passed 60,000. But I'm still not done. I know I said I would like to be done by the end of my holiday, but that I should just stop saying things because they never happen. I'm sat down now and I am gonna work on the book. I am at 60,346. I also wanted to update on the whole formatting thing because I got a little formatting obsessed. As you could see in this video, and I think the video before this, trying to figure out different formatting. And just to give you an update on that, I bought Vellum. Vellum is a formatting software, not sponsored, I wish. It creates both ebooks and print books, so the formatting for them, it's so freaking easy, and it creates these beautiful formats that you can choose from and you can customize. And I had been going back and forth if I should just shell out and buy it, and that's why I've been trying with Word, I've been trying with other things. It's just so, it's a pain in the ass. Like, it is a pain in the ass. I also tried InDesign. I started a trial for InDesign, but that's so expensive. That's $20 a month, I think, if you buy it annually. And subscription-based services just drive me up the wall. I've been going back and forth on it for such a long time, and I just decided, screw it, I will buy it. And I did. It was expensive. It was $300 with tax. This is the most expensive thing I have purchased so far in my publishing journey. This is the most expensive single thing I've purchased so far. And by the way, you don't need this unless you're self-publishing and going to format your own books. It saves you a lot of money in the long run because yes, I pay $300 now, but if I were to hire a formatter for every book and for every version of a book, so ebook or print, it would be maybe $200 every book. I pay $300, but this is for life. It's not a subscription, it's a one-time payment. I can format as many books as I want. And so obviously I haven't really talked about traditional versus self-publishing in a while. Just FYI, I am leaning more towards self-publishing recently, which is why I purchased this product, because otherwise, obviously, if I would go with a traditional publisher right now, I would need to worry about that. I would still maybe want to try traditional publishing with some of my books at some point. I can go into that obviously in another video, but I just wanted to let you know that that's why I bought this formatting software, because otherwise you don't need it. This is not the cheapest way to do it. The cheapest way would be Word, since I already pay for that, or even Scrivener. Scrivener does formatting as well, but they are both really, they're not made for formatting, and they are a pain in the backside to make work with formatting. And Vellum is literally a few clicks of buttons. Obviously, it's super customizable. You can do a lot more things, but it's just so easy. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh. I'm really happy that, you know, after I purchased it, I had a little bit of buyer's remorse because it is very expensive for a one-time thing, and obviously I haven't published anything, and so I haven't made any money from writing. To put this kind of money forward, I think I've already, if you don't include the Microsoft subscription and God knows how many other things that I also use for filming, I use for other things, so I don't try to count those, but I think specifically for writing, I think I've already spent around $450 to $500. For now, it's just a hobby until I start making some money back, until I start publishing and maybe making that money back. For now, it's just an expensive hobby. Today is the 17th of April, and I just finished work. This weekend, there's a couple of things happening. First, there is a 24-hour live stream of all the BTS's like recorded tours, recorded concerts that will be streamed on YouTube for free. So I'm definitely gonna tune in for most of that, I think, while working on the books. That's the plan, because this week, because I had to start work again, honestly, I didn't really have much energy to do stuff. I did a lot of other authorly things. I did work on books. I just didn't do much writing this week, so I'm gonna try and catch up to that in this weekend. It's also Easter for us. I'm from Romania and we celebrate the Orthodox Easter. I'm not religious, it's just a tradition I grew up with, and we try to keep that even when we're here in Denmark, and so we're going to dye some eggs. That's a thing that we do. That's a Romanian tradition. I'm not sure if it's specifically Romanian or if other cultures do it as well for Easter, but that's what we do. What do you want? She wants to go outside. The balcony is like right in front of me, and whenever I'm anywhere close to the balcony, she will just sit in front of it and look up at me and just meow because she wants to be let out. But I don't let her out unless I'm also there with her, because a couple of times she somehow found her way to our neighbor and we had to go rescue her from the neighbor. That makes it sound like the neighbor was gonna do something to her. She's like 80 years old. She wouldn't do anything. I'll be honest, I have not done much for the last few days. I feel like I burned out a little bit. I feel like I did a lot for about 3 weeks, and then, you know, working every single day and doing a lot, and then I think I just burnt out. And that's something that just happens sometimes, so I'm trying to get out of that burnout slowly, so we'll see. I also, what was it, yesterday morning or the day before, I woke up at like 6 a.m. and I had this brilliant dream that, again, I remembered word by word, scene by scene, and it played out like a movie in my head. And as soon as I woke up, I was like, oh, I need to write this down because I could use this. It's not the first time I've written a book based on a dream that I've had. The book that came out of that is completely different than what the dream initially was, but you know, it was just the starting point that got me thinking, that got me writing, got me outlining, that eventually became, it's one of my fantasy series that I haven't finished writing the book of that yet, but I've written a lot of it, and it was based off of an awesome dream I had and that I remembered when I woke up, and the same thing happened a couple of days ago. The idea from this dream combined so perfectly with another idea I had of sort of setting and culture inspiration that I never really knew what to do with. Like, I really wanted to write a book based off of this specific thing, but that's all. I didn't have any other idea, so it's just kind of one of these ideas that I've just been keeping on the side. But the idea from this dream combines perfectly with this other idea I had, and so I combined those two and I wrote a very, very quick summary of what I think the book or the series should be. So yeah, that's another thing that I will write at some point. My problem is I have way too many ideas for books, but it takes a lot of work to even write one, guys, so, and a lot of time. Hopefully I'll get to write all of these ideas and more. That's one of the things that make me really sad. A is knowing that I'll never be able to read all of the books that I want to read because there's just too many books and there's not enough time in my life. And second is knowing that I might never be able to write all of the book ideas that I have, which makes me a bit sad because, again, writing takes so long and takes so much work. The other reason I'm here in front of my very messy bookshelf is because I need to pick another book to read, so you get to watch me do that. I don't know if this is interesting to anyone. Okay, so I picked out 3 possible books that I want to read. I have Sword of Kaigen, which I've been meaning to get to for a while. I have We Are the Ants. And then the one that I already started is Ship of Magic. I just wasn't in a great mind space when I started this book last time, and so I didn't get very far in. I also really wanted to read this. I think I'm gonna read this. Yes, there is no process of picking a book. I really wanted to read this. I also heard that the show is like being produced, and it's, you know, I mean, it's a big difference. I'll just say that. So I think I'll pick this one up next, and I'll come back to this. So I just opened the book because obviously I want to read it, but look at this. Like, this looks misprinted, doesn't it? That looks super weird to me. So I'm not sure if that's like a misprint or that's what it's supposed to be, but one thing is for sure, I don't want my book to be like that. Do you guys have this book? Is it like that? Is that intentional? I have questions. Hey guys, today is the 29th of April and I made some progress. I'm at 62,289. I'll put it here. And I'm getting towards the end again, which is great. So I think I have about 70 more pages to skim through, and then I have to rearrange something at the end, which is again something I realized. I kind of want to rewrite a scene at the end completely, which will then increase the word count as well. So that's good. So I think actually now I'm expecting to get to 70,000 or close to that. I also started reading this because I finished the selection, so I thought I should just go ahead and dive into this behemoth of a book, but I'm excited. This will take me a long time. Like, I'm not a fast reader, so this will take some time. So, quick update. I'm at the end of the story once more. I am at 64,208 words. And again, I figured out some stuff that I want to change. I want to add another scene before the final image that I think wraps things up even nicer if I add that scene. Without it, I think I'm kind of leaving something out. I'm not quite at the end yet, but I'm at the third act of the story. Yeah, 64,000. I'm still aiming for around 70 though, but I think I can make that. So it is Saturday and I'm still working on Hunting Vienna. I'm still close to the end. It's just been, yeah, a bit slower because I really want to get it right, because there's some things I know I want to change towards the end. I want to add a completely new location because I just realized at some point that, oh my gosh, I didn't have that. I don't want to say what it is, but like it made so much sense to me to have that as a location at the end, and so I have to work that in now. And it's a bit slower in that sense. And also I spent this morning brainstorming a new idea. I found something else that I can combine with my original shiny new idea that I had a couple of weeks ago, a month ago or something like that. The thing is, you know how some authors say that there's always been a story or a series that they're meant to write. That is kind of like their magnum opus, the thing that they are really meant to write. I'm not sure if this is necessarily that, but I'm having this feeling that this is the series that I need to write. Like, this is so perfect for me. The idea of it is so fun to write that I can't actually, I really want to start writing it right now, but I can't because I need to finish Hunting Vienna and I need to finish Crooked Hearts, the edit of Crooked Hearts as well, which is my other YA contemporary book. But this series that I'm brainstorming is just, I think this is the series, like this is the story that I was meant to write. For now, at least. But this is something that I really would just want to sit down and explore, you know? And most of it will probably never make it into the final product, but I can already, like, I'm already brainstorming scenes and ideas in my head that I want to explore. And again, even if they don't actually make it into the final book, I just want to write them because it feels like so much fun to just sit and explore and write them. But I just don't want to lose focus on what I'm trying to accomplish right now, which is finishing and polishing up Hunting Vienna, and then possibly my other YA contemporary novel, Crooked Hearts, because then at least I'll have 2 finished, polished manuscripts that I can then decide how to move forward with. And it's easier if you have more than one. So it is the next day. It is Sunday, and I actually made quite a bit of progress yesterday. I made it to 67,555 words, but I had to sort of delete and rewrite stuff, and I'm still doing that. I'm still rewriting a part at the end, or actually writing it for the first time, to be fair, because that's the part that I want to add. And I'm also doing some YouTube optimization for my videos, because that's something annoying that I have to make every now and again. I'm hoping to finish the book today, but to be fair, there's still quite a lot that I need to do, so I'm not sure I'll be able to manage. I also forgot to mention that I'm also using this. Normally I would use this more in the next phase, in the line editing phase, but I have been doing a bit of line editing as I am fixing things. I've mentioned this book before, but just in case you're not aware, this is a fantastic resource, so do check it out if you're not aware of it. Hi, hello, it's been a while. So basically, I'm still doing this. I'm still trying to finish this draft. But I got in a little bit of a rut. I would say I think I burnt out at some point, and I've also been pretty stressed from work, and so I've been stuck in the same place for a very long time, and that is unfortunately right at the end of the story. I want to rewrite the ending because I have a much better idea on how it should end, and yeah, I've been stuck in the same place for a very long time, so I'm trying to, really trying to push through. I am at 68,237 words, but the problem is these last couple of chapters that I have to rewrite completely because, yeah, I've just added another scene that I'm really excited. Well, I was really excited to actually have in, and that's the part that I still haven't written because I literally have the cursor at the start of the chapter that I need to rewrite, and it's been there for a very long time, and every time I open my document, I just stare at that cursor and then I don't do anything. So that's been fun. This has been a much longer process that I thought, simply because I think I burnt myself out both with writing and at work, and kind of everything combined just made me not want to be creative or feel like I can do anything. So I think that's been a big reason, but I don't want to continue to complain about it, then just try and actually do the work, because I'm still very excited about the work. It's just been a little bit difficult lately. So I've got some elderflower juice here, got my laptop, I have a book, I have some tunes, so I'm really ready to crack on. And look at this, chapter 37, all of these words will be gone, and yeah, I'm at 290 of 300 right now, so I really need to push through. Let's go! So I reached 70,000 words. I'll put exact number right here, and I think I'm very close. There's a couple more things that I want to do. I want to put it on my Kindle and read through it like a reader, because I want to figure out, there's a couple of things that I want to insert, but I'm not sure where it feels natural with the flow of the book, so I need to read it as a reader and figure out where to place those little things. But I'm really close. I'm very close. So it is the same day. That is a cat's tail. And I went through the book on my computer, and I figured there's a couple of things I still want to include, but I'm not entirely sure where it feels natural, and so I thought it would be a better idea to put the draft on my Kindle and try to read it naturally as a reader would, and figure out if there's any weird spots that as a reader would feel strange, if there's some transition that feels a bit weird, or you know what I mean, and also find spots where I could fit certain things that I want to add. So I put it on my Kindle. I don't know if you can see, I guess this is mirrored. But anyway, it's on my Kindle and it feels a bit weird reading your own words because it feels more like a real book, you know, when it's on a e-reader, because obviously I read real books on my e-reader. And if it's my words, it feels a little bit surreal. It's exciting when you finally get to put your finished draft or close to finished draft into your Kindle, or you know, print it out or something, and then see it as a book, or as close to a book as you can get it right now. It's a very exciting time. So I've been reading for the past 20-30 minutes. I'm at chapter 6. Maybe you can see a little bit there. And now it says I have 3 hours and 21 minutes left in this book, with the reading speed that I read, which is a bit slow because I'm also stopping every time I find something. And that's the thing that I wanted to say, is that even though I've looked at this draft and this document, I don't even know how many times. I would feel like I'm exaggerating if I just shoot up a number, but I've looked at this draft a lot and I've reread it a lot. But as soon as I started reading on the Kindle, you know, like on the 3rd page or something, I found a typo, or I found a couple of things that just read awkwardly. And even though this isn't a line edit that I'm doing right now, obviously I stopped and made a note of that to change it, because this just goes to show that you really need to put your draft on a different format. Maybe print it out in a different font than how you wrote it in. Put it on your Kindle or your e-reader, or I don't know, print it out into an actual book. You can do that really easily with Amazon. Just do something like that so you can read it in a different format, and you will spot things that I had no idea that those things were there, and I had read these sentences over and over again. But another thing I wanted to say is that I already laughed like a few times at my own jokes, which again I've read millions and millions of times. And so I'm trying to put myself into a reader's perspective, and I find that I'm really enjoying myself reading this. I hope this continues throughout the rest of the book, because I don't want to toot my own horn or anything. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's just I'm trying to showcase that it's really important to read your own work as a reader, and if you find that you're enjoying it, someone else has to enjoy it too, right? Because you know this stuff, you've written it, you've read it millions of times. If you still are able to surprise yourself, then surely someone who's reading it for the first time will also be surprised. I don't know, that's what I'm hoping. So I'm gonna continue reading, and hopefully this feeling will last, because the ending is still a bit rough since I just rewrote that part. So that's really where I am the most apprehensive of getting to, because I feel like that's still a bit rough around the edges. But I want to confirm that by reading this whole book through for the next 3 hours and 20 minutes. If I can manage to read it this evening, I will try to do that. So I hope you can hear me over the wind and the racket of the mower in the background. They're mowing this field. I came outside. Yes, I do go outside sometimes. I came outside to clear my head and to go for a walk, because I finished the draft. So I reached 72,000 words, which at the end of the last vlog, I think I was at 52,000. So that's 20,000 more words. But the thing is, I rewrote some parts at the end, and so realistically I think it's 25,000 new words or thereabouts. But finally I think the story is there. I went through all of my notes and I fixed all of the plot holes, anything that I left sort of in the air, because there's always a couple of those things. And I tried to make the character motivations clearer, try to explain some stuff that maybe were a little bit confusing. But of course, this is all from what I can tell. And so I will need feedback from other people if there's more things that need fixing. So far, the story is done. So I'm calling this rewrite done. I'm calling this draft done finally. And the next step is line editing. So I found a bench in the shade. Next up is line editing, and I'll show you the process for that. Now, obviously I've done some line editing here and there during this part of the edits whenever I saw something, but now I'm just gonna focus on the sentences and the words and making them nicer, cutting any unnecessary stuff. I have a long list of things that I need to look out for, and I'll share all that with you. But yeah, 72,000 words, and I'm really happy, I'm really pleased. It took a lot longer than I thought, but there were some other things involved with that as well, so I'm just happy I'm done. And I finished it during my 2-week vacation from work, so right in time. Take a couple of days off, I think, and then jump right back into line edits. So thanks for watching this video and this journey, and I hope you stay tuned for the next video that will be editing this draft. And yeah, that's it for me today, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!